Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Hey, welcome back to this. We're doing okay in figuring this stuff out. So, if you like how this is going, give us just a tiny bit of feedback, just a little, just a smidgen of feedback. Just let me know how it is.
Side by Side, season 2.
How you doing today?
You know, I'm doing good.
How you feeling?
Feeling good. Feeling
Yeah.
great. I'm here. It's a beautiful day outside. In a good mood.
Good day outside to stay inside and play
a-
games instead.
All right, so my news is that there's a new Fallout TV show coming out soon, which I'm stoked about because I love the Fallout games. But this new TV show, very little is known about it, except that they've recently started filming it in Staten Island. There's some set pictures of a super duper mart, which is going to be one of the sets in the show.
Well, hang on. What is Fallout?
Oh yeah, probably should start there. It's a video game set in like an alternative universe where like there's a big war and bombs fell, nuclear bombs were fall.
What did we do? Did we went to war? Did we go to the war with China? Or
Yeah, with China, it was like a communism kind of thing, and it's kind of set in like an alternate 50s style. So everything's like nuclear power, and it's very like a 50s sort of aesthetic.
It's
even though it's set in like 2100, something like that.
It's like there's cyberpunk, there's solar punk, there's diesel punk. What is this? Nuclear punk? Or
Nuclear
something?
punk, 50s punk,
50s radiation.
retro punk,
Retrofuturism.
radiation retro, yeah, retro.
So what year did the bomb drop?
You know, I don't remember.
It was like 50s.
It was like the 50s. Oh yeah, well the 50s in the real timeline.
Yeah, but it was very much like everything got flash frozen in the 50s. So
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
the world's ended. Everyone's all scabby, but like they still have like 50s like hairdos.
You're right. 50s styles and 50s technology and 50s art and design and things like that. So, yeah, a lot of the games are set usually about 200 years or so after the initial bomb drop, with the exception of 76. And so it kind of just shows the settlers and survivors trying to survive in this world. You have like some new species, and then you have the ghouls. They're actually called the ghouls.
Those are like people who have been heavily irradiated, but they're still alive.
Still alive. It kind of makes them immortal, and not kind of it does. And sometimes they go feral, sometimes they don't. Depends. Some ghouls will eventually turn feral. Some ghouls have just been ghouls for hundreds of years.
But
They remember the false trauma. Yeah, feral ghouls. Packs they roam. They eat settlers. They don't attack other ghouls. Feral ghouls and ghouls can hang out, but
and a regular ghoul is like a person, but just terrible skin.
Oh yeah, no ears, like no nose, just like it looks like severe radiation damage.
Maybe they can still see, but
Right?
none of it makes any sense anymore.
And even when they have like the cloudy, milky eyes, they still can see, even though they look like they should be blind.
It's an interesting kind of world.
Yeah, interesting world.
What kind of story do you think they're gonna tell?
You know what? It really could be anything, because all the stories of the games are pretty vastly varied. I imagine you're just gonna follow some survivors, probably trying to build a settlement, or perhaps defeat some super mutants, or like there are some main antagonists in the games. You have like the Enclave, which is the leftover.
You're gonna have Enclave,
which is like the leftover remnants of the American government, and then you have
they're dangerous.
They are dangerous. They are dangerous. You have the Brotherhood, which are this anti-technology kind of group who believe that pre-war technology is what led to the war. So they like to seize and destroy all pre-war technology they come across.
But they're still using the suits.
Exactly, but they still use that. They have these things called power suits with big giant metal things you can go inside, powered by these nuclear cores. And the Brotherhood, it's funny, they totally hate technology, but they still use the vertibirds, which are like these planes and the power armor suits.
So
and
you're
stuff.
saying they're hypocrites?
They are, because like like we can use it, but you guys can't be trusted with it.
How unlike a future America to be hypocrites.
Yeah. And
so
then
when's the story coming out? When we having it?
They say they're thinking it's going to come out sometime next year. It's still currently filming, so very little is actually known about it. We have a cast list in it.
Yeah, who's in it? Like, what's the?
So there's Ella Purnell, who was in this show called Yellow Jackets. There is Walton Goggins, who's in Justified. Let's see.
He's in a lot of stuff.
He's in a lot of stuff. He's in a lot of things.
How you doing, Major?
I ain't in the mood, Chris Mannix.
Walton's just so perfect in what he's doing with Mannix. He's just so right for that character for this story.
I watched Walt's show, Justified. So I've seen him in different guises and doing different things, and always been impressed with the way he approaches his work and the honesty of it and the rawness of it.
The biggest thing I admire in Walt is courage. He has courage to dare to risk.
He is phenomenal in this movie, and he's this character that has such despicable nature at times, but brings you such laughter.
I'll help you protect your 8,000. You help me protect my 10. Deal?
Well, ain't love grand? Young long ground makes no angels together?
And then some other random people. Let's see, there's someone called Kyle MacLachlan, who was apparently in Twin Peaks. And
that name is just Pretty Boy written all over it.
Right? Just sounds like, here's Kyle MacLachlan with his new special, or just like new song. Feels like a teen bop guy. I don't know who any of these people are, but I don't know. That's kind of cool. Oh yeah, it's gonna be made by Amazon Prime. It's gonna be an Amazon Prime exclusive.
So they're gonna throw a bunch of money at it.
Exactly, so we have a lot of money. The producers of it are two of the writers for Westworld, which kind of actually gives me hope that this could be a good TV show.
Yeah, a lot of credibility in them.
Very well written, very well filmed show. Really great sets and costume design and everything. I think it's very important for Fallout because I think part of the charm of Fallout is its whole aesthetic. It's very enjoyable with the retro thing and then the sort of dilapidatedness of everything. It's very fun. I like that post-apocalyptic scene.
I think that's a big part of it too. Is in this world, a lot of the characters have something called a Pip-Boy, which is a device that fits on your arm. That's kind of like your personal computer. In the same way that we would have one of these, they have a big computer strapped to their arm. Mm-hmm. But it gives you a lot of metrics on how your health is doing and what kind of stuff you're carrying around. But all of the graphics on it are very frozen in time and they're very cute.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Very, very retro, which is great. I love it.
The retro cartoons.
It also has Zelia Mendez-Jones, who's in the show called Havoc, and then Aaron Moten, who's in Disjointed. And then, it's being produced by Amazon Studios, Kilter Films, in association with Bethesda Game Studios and Bethesda Softworks. So, the game, obviously, Bethesda is the company that creates and owns Fallout, so they have a hand in the production as well.
I think it'd be really excellent if they just added, just a small Easter egg of something clipping through a building.
I think they should. They gotta do a nod to because they're shooting a ghoul and he vanishes and then he's halfway through the floor. Yeah, you see a hand flapping through the ground. That would be hilarious.
What else we got in the news today? Okay, so this isn't the hottest news, but I'll get to why I think it's important. And I wanted to talk about Red Dead Redemption 2 Online is kind of in its death throes right now.
Oh, R.I.P.
Yeah, I mean, considering it just also reached the landmark of reaching the 10th highest selling game of all time.
Oh, 10th highest, wow.
Yeah, which means it sold, 44 million copies.
Yeah, crazy amount.
Which is insane, and now they're just it's been out since, I mean, at this point it's been out 3-4 years.
Yeah.
4 years now.
Yeah, 2018?
Yeah, 2018, but now it's at a point right now where they're waning themselves and divesting themselves from the online, so it's on its way out. To be fair, I don't think they're going to shut down the servers anytime soon, but anyway, it's kind of sad for me in a weird kind of way. It was kind of like it's a cowboy simulator kind of thing, but it's also got just a terrific plot, really good voice acting. I think it's probably one of the best digital playgrounds ever created. I mean, from the beginning where you're walking through the snow and every step leaves footsteps in the snow.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And you're wading through deeper snow mountains. It's the way
gorgeous.
Your horses walk around is amazing. You're in the bayou and you get mud on you and it's just all over you. I got in a fist fight in the street. My guy got a black eye.
Right, the detail in this game is it's a gorgeous game.
It's the attention to detail on almost everything.
You can see the veins in your horse's skin. This game is so just down to the little bits. It's just so real. It's so immersive.
And I loved it. I think it's one of the best games I've ever played. It's actually funny because I was developing a game when that game came out, and I quit working on my game because I was like, damn, I'm never gonna make it.
It totally demoralized you.
It really did.
It's damn, I'll never reach that level.
I just remember walking through the snow and just looking at it, and I was just like, that's so well done. I'm like, there's nothing I could do that's this cool.
That snow really got me. I just recently started playing that game. That's kind of my game of the week this week was Red Dead 2, which I downloaded literally 2 years ago and then just never actually played until now because I just got so many games in the queue. but I just watched a Western the other day, Young Guns, and it kind of put the Westerns in my mind. I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Let's pull it up. Let's watch it.
Feeling
I was feeling it. I was in a Western mood. Like, let's go. Wild West. Outlaw country.
Have you played online?
I've not played the online one, no, because I just made it to that first beginning part with the snow you're talking about, and it was amazing.
Here's the thing. I think you should just play the single player.
Yeah,
and
you don't
just
recommend online?
Forgo multiplayer altogether. Like, I was trying to think of like experiences I had because I played it since the very beginning. I played it on launch, and it was like this broken, awful playground with just a laundry list of bugs. I remember getting soft locked, which means that my console would just hang. It would just stop working. And you just have to sit there and wait because none of the buttons on the console would work because it got locked, like fully soft locked.
Wow. Like turn it off, turn it back on again locked?
Yeah, like you had to shut the console off because, or you could sit there and wait and eventually it might give you back controls, but it was really, really bad. A bunch of unfinished missions. Sometimes they'd play, sometimes they wouldn't. I remember there's a mission where you would go into this guy's cabin, and I remember walking into that cabin and there was no one in it, and the inside of the cabin was just completely empty, and you'd just be stuck there, and subtitles would pop up of what's supposed to be happening, but there's no video footage and there's no one talking to you.
Just the words.
So it's just like
there.
me and my friends were just running around in circles inside this cabin waiting for the subtitles to disappear.
That's pretty bad.
Dumb stuff like that. Sometimes you get stuck in a mission that wouldn't finish. Sometimes markers wouldn't work. It was terrible. It was an unfinished game. And the stories were clearly told by what I call the B team.
You said that the Reject Studio got online?
Yeah.
Or where they're focusing on the main story?
Well, it's like, here's our writing team, and here's their interns. And the interns are writing the online stories. They're bad. They're terrible. They're very badly written. They're badly acted. I mean, to be fair, whoever's doing motion capture is killing it. But aside from that, there's so many problems with it. Also, like, beyond that, you had to play these stories over and over again because you needed in-game currency. And it was one of the ways to get one of their, like, gold, which you can't get gold anywhere else other than buying it. Or with actual money.
Like a loot pack? Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I hate those.
So you either have to buy the gold, or you play the story missions, or you get lucky and you might get it from like a bonus event or something. But, you know, there's a lot of stuff you can do to get gold, but it's a grind and it's not fun. And I think the biggest thing that they had going was they had this open world, which generally speaking would be really fun, but it's so stripped down. And because there was such a lack of things to actually do, there's a lot of griefing. So there's a lot of people who are playing it, they don't have anything else to do, so they'll kill you.
Why not fuck with the other players? It's like, I'm not doing anything else. The game's so buggy, at least this is fun.
So anyway, like, the early updates basically mutilated the economy. They added more premium currencies and things like that in there to try to keep people paying money because they just want more money coming into the game. But they weren't giving you any reason to spend this money. So I really don't feel any joy having to read about the death of Red Dead Redemption 2 online. I mean, it was one of the best single-player experiences you could find. And I would have really loved to be able to experience this game with other people. But unfortunately, what it gave you was this, like, kind of sandbox full of, like, semi-retarded bastard children who, like, the parents clearly don't want to take their time to, like, I don't know, civilize.
Supervise, watch.
Yeah. So it becomes like you're playing like this online babysitting.
Fucking Lord of the Flies.
Yeah.
You know, they're just going out there killing people.
It's a bunch of kids who are playing it. It's like playing Fortnite.
Vote Chevy!
I think they could redeem it if they simply just allowed you to play online on a private server with mods, and that will never happen. But it would be great if you could, because then you could just play it unadulterated without having to deal with, you know.
My friend is so stupid. I'm never ever playing with you again.
Most importantly, though, on the back of the announcement at the end of Red Dead Redemption 2 Online, Grand Theft Auto 5, a game at this point that is 9 years old, a game that is played almost predominantly by 9-year-olds, is still getting more content. It's getting a big update called the Criminal Enterprises Update. It's out basically this week. I don't know anyone who cares, but hey, there it is.
The 9-year-olds care. They're the ones playing it.
I mean, the thing is, it's another one of those games that was really good for its time, but at this point, it's just become a money printer for the parent company.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's devolved from a game about being like a bank robber and doing one last heist into becoming this weird soulless. You're basically a soulless psychopath without a name or a voice who's just buying tacky clothing and stupidly ugly cars and ridiculous weapons so you can grief each other.
Run people over, shoot them down with rocket launchers from across the map, all that kind of stuff.
It's just the next level. I mean, I'll be honest, I have a helicopter with rockets on it.
Yeah.
And I bought that because I was so sick of the stupid nonsense that people were doing. I was just like, I need to be able to come down with something heavy.
Gotta come with the big guns.
But the thing is, I did that back when there was this game on the PlayStation 3. It's on the PlayStation 5.
Yeah. Just keep.
We haven't had another Grand Theft Auto in years, so they're actually siphoning people away from Red Dead Redemption Online to go work on the next Grand Theft Auto game. Now you say, well, why is Grand Theft Auto a big deal? Because it's amazing that Red Dead Redemption 2 is the 10th biggest game of all time as far as sales goes, but it doesn't hold a candle to Grand Theft Auto 5, which has over 160 million copies sold. At this point in time, made over $7.5 billion.
Wow, $7.5 billion. Well, no wonder they keep updating it and adding to it with that kind of return.
And that's the thing is, most of that money came after the game was released and after the major sales. Like, it's a lot of that like premium currency sales that they're doing. That's what's really getting it. So it's hard to find exact numbers, but last time I read about it, they were making something around $250 million a quarter on that game.
That's a lot.
That's more than most games make in their entire lifespan. They're making it per quarter. I think last year they made something around $900 million.
Wow.
So maybe a little short of 250 million, but it's still pretty amazing. So they're just basically dropping free updates for Grand Theft Auto Online until they release the next Grand Theft Auto, in which case they'll just pull support on Grand Theft Auto 5. But, you know, as all things do, it's just about the money.
I kind of briefly touched on it when you're talking about Red Dead Online. That funny that you bringing that up because that is the game that I'm playing this week. Like I said, I was watching the Western. So Red Dead 2 is the game of the week for me.
Nice. How long
have I got? How long have I played it? How far have I gotten in the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not super far. I just made it through kind of that first whole like chapter 1, the tutorial kind of section where you're up in the mountains and you got to get through the snow and you're like fighting the O'Driscoll boys and you're trying to get to the train robbery, that kind of stuff.
Is this your first time playing it?
It is. Like I literally don't know anything about the plot. Like I know it's a prequel to Red Dead 1. I know it follows Arthur Morgan, and then John Marston is in it, but you don't really you interact with them too much. If you know the first game's plot, you recognize him. So this game isn't focused on him. It's focused on Arthur Morgan and his story. According to Wikipedia, you do play as John Marston in the epilogue, which kind of leads into the first one.
Well, here's a real question. It's like, what do you think of Arthur as a character now that you've only played as much as you have?
Oh, which I have. I mean, I think that he's an asshole, but they all are. They're outlaws. I mean, he's like the game, like all the other ones, has like an honor rating, which is pretty common in the whole Rockstar kind of games. Well, so you can make him more of an asshole with the choices, or you could be like nicer, more honorable with his choices. I'm kind of playing him as an asshole. I can be like a ruthless killer, so I've just been murdering people left and right. But
so the story of this is kind of like you're an outlaw in a band of outlaws.
Yeah, you're in this little gang. Yeah, so like so Arthur Morgan, the character, isn't involved in this, but the main guy and the other people in the gang like try to go rob this ferry. At the moment, you don't know what went wrong or what happened because you weren't there. You just heard the main guy shot a woman. You don't know if she deserved it or not. It went south. They got discovered, and everyone's on the run. They couldn't take all their stuff from the town you're staying in, so you're basically starting from scratch. And people are hunting you down. There's big bounties on your head, and that's
you
kind
end
of
up in not just out of town, not through the desert,
Oh, no.
not in the mountains. You are in the
middle. Yeah.
You're in the snow-covered far out.
Yeah, just covered in snow. So now you're trying to survive in the snow, and you gotta hunt and get food, and then try to get money so that you guys can sort of reestablish yourselves and make your way out.
I think the thing that really sold me, it wasn't the bigger plot points, but it was those moments where you're walking through the woods because you have a Native American who's like a tracker who's on your team.
Yes.
and he's like taking you on this little hunting expedition.
Yeah, showing you how to follow the tracks and how to
Yeah.
hunt. And it's really cool is that there's like a feature in the game where you can like highlight the tracks and puts a little glowing yellow mark. You can follow them.
You can follow the
But
footsteps.
you could also you can visually see the tracks on the screen, which is really cool. And they're very like, if you're in the snow, it's like half filled in by snow. And like you were saying, it's just an incredibly beautiful game.
You know, I've played the game for so many hours that like even just remembering it, everything is just I just have this fond memory of it.
Yeah.
You know, everything just sounds so like, oh man, I want to go back and do it again.
It's really fun, yeah.
But it's also one of those things where I played it twice, and the narrative really takes you on a ride.
Yeah.
And it's very well written, it's very well acted, and it's kind of like when I was talking about Last of Us. I loved playing that game. It's post-apocalyptic, you have this infested world and you have to save this girl and bring her to this place, and I just like I couldn't play it twice because it's just the story was like eating really, really rich chocolate. You just love it to death the first time, but man, you do not want to take a second bite.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, speaking of kind of nostalgia trips, I guess, where I kind of look back at something fondly, I just picked up Cyberpunk again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that a lot of people didn't like this game because on launch it has a lot of problems, and probably has a ton of problems on the console, but I'm a spoiled bitch on the computer. So.
PC Master Race.
It just works better, and it does. It's like, I played it on launch, and it was fine for me. I mean, I had minor graphical problems, and I had a hiccup here or two, but I think that it was better on launch than Skyrim is today. I think it's better on launch than any of those online, Grand Theft Auto Online or Red Dead Online ever were. I think it's, you know, it doesn't get enough credit for being good on the computer. It's an interesting world. It's like, well, cyberpunk. I mean, everyone has augmentations. Your character by default has wire built into their face from the beginning when you're doing a character creation. The whole idea is that the longer you play, the more you start swapping out body parts and putting in new ones.
They give you certain upgrades, abilities based on parts you can use.
Absolutely, and like there's guns that you can connect to your attachments that you can do things like you can have auto aim for you, and you can do all, there's so many interesting things.
Is there a limit to the amount of augmentations you can do?
I mean, your body can only carry so much junk.
So you can't just be like a basically an android with a human brain. You can't go full out.
It's funny you should mention that. That's addressed in the game. I
Oh,
mean,
is it?
the game is very much like, it's acknowledging the fact that we are in a society where the immediacy is very important, and that inevitably there will be people who will want to replace their bodies completely with robot parts. And you run into a character early in the game who's like a legend in the world. For just being...
From being mostly robot parts?
Yeah, being a walking tank, basically.
Ooh.
And he's a character eventually you fight in the game.
Of course, you gotta fight the walking tank.
Well, to be fair, they set the fight up for you, and when I fought it, the game bugged. I didn't really fight him.
You didn't fight him? No.
No, I just walked up and shot his
sit
head
there,
off.
huh? Yeah.
He was just standing there, and I was like, disappointing.
This is a game I was really excited about. I followed it all the way to its launch. But as a console player, it was so bad on consoles at launch that I never played it. I was kind of waiting around for the patches to come through and sort of fix it up. But I heard it's a lot better now. And now that I have a PS5, which is like a stronger console, I think I'm ready to give it a shot.
I gotta say, since I just picked it up again, one of the first things I had problems with the first time I played was like graphical issues, and they were minor, but there's multiple choices you can have on your character's background which really don't affect the game really, other than just in some minor dialogue pieces. But I chose Street Kid, where you start off in a bar, and you're kind of a hustler in all of them. You're looking to get money, you're looking to get famous, you're looking to get rich. And the story kind of takes you on this divergent path where you really have to start asking questions like, are our corporate overlords doing the right thing for us? The answer's obviously no. But, I mean, I had some silly bugs. We had the legless woman. We had one where I was walking around with my dick out for a while, just because.
I heard you can augment your dick size in that game.
You can. It doesn't mean anything. It's just.
Does it change? Well, that's lame.
It's just a flavor thing.
Oh, just for fun for the wolf.
Well, like changing your face doesn't matter because it's a first-person game.
Oh, so you don't even see your face really?
No, you can look at yourself in the mirror. You can see what you look like with the helmet on or off or whatever. But changing your face is just for you. It's not, and it's not affecting anything. It's like changing your genitalia doesn't really matter. You know, it's like if you put on mascara, it only really matters to you. It doesn't change.
So you can't change your face to like give a disguise. Like if one group's after you, can't go get an augmentation. They can't recognize you. And move
it's
on.
not that kind of game.
That's kind of lame.
Well, the thing is, there's organizations you'll run into where it's death on sight with them, right? Now, you can't really change that. This isn't a game of real consequence in the actions you have. Other than that, you can just continue to level up, and it's just fun to play. Now, if you're looking for more than that, I think this story's fine.
Yeah.
I think it's serviceable. I think the voice acting for the man that you play as is a little shaky, but I think that more than anything, the supporting characters that they introduced in the game are all very good. There's none of them that are annoying or stupid.
That's saying something.
I mean, there was like one side character that was a Jesse Cox, if you know who that is. He's an internet guy. Well, he got himself featured in the game, and he got himself a dick augmentation, and it didn't go well.
Oh, that's funny.
I thought it was. I think he had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, sounds like a fun.
But generally speaking, you know, when Keanu Reeves shows up, it's just. It's kind of a weird, trippy moment where you're having to like.
Does it take you out of the game?
Yeah, you're looking at Keanu Reeves. You know, but the thing is, there's no breaking of character. Mm-hmm. You know, there is no whoa.
No whoa.
No, it's all very much very serious, and he does a good job. I mean, as good as Keanu does at anything, and. He introduces just an element of storytelling that's very interesting. And I think there is actually a number of parallels between just the narrative structure between Cyberpunk and you know, Red Dead Redemption 2. But I think that in particular, like, when I finished Cyberpunk, I never really felt like I got to experience all of the things to experience, whereas when I was done with Red Dead, I was done.
You're done.
Yeah.
So you like go back and play Cyberpunk, but you kind of feel satiated by Red Dead 2.
Yes. I feel like Cyberpunk is so much more like. I got to a point when I was playing one of my rounds. I was like, I feel like Batman. I felt
the gadgets and gear.
I felt more like Batman than any Batman game I'd ever played, because I'm just like. I had the augmentations that I couldn't fly, but I could do these massive leaping jumps. And I would like hide in the dark, and I would jump out, and then I would just like stun kill people, you know?
Yeah.
I would just like knock people out, and I'd take their guns, like, you're under arrest, scum, you know,
There
whatever.
you go.
But I was like, I remember just the feeling like, this is what it must be like to be Batman. And like, I'm using detective gear to like disable like electronics and stuff, and you can like scan people and just like all the stuff you can do.
Can you hack other people's cybernetics? Yeah.
And it's so satisfying. It's like, it's one of those things where you can like blow out their eyes on high levels. You can hack their bodies to force them to take out their own guns and shoot themselves.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
I was just like, you get to a point where you're a cybernetic god. You walk out, you're like, I don't even need guns anymore. It's like, why? Is it because you have guns? Hey, what's coming up in the new releases? Alright, I'll start. I found a game called Toilet Chronicles.
So the game is called Toilet Chronicles?
It's called Toilet Chronicles.
Wow, Toilet Chronicles. I love that.
Oh, hey, try blowing up that wall. Here.
That was like fun. The aesthetics design of it remind me of that one game we played where you're in the house and you gotta do the chores and everything. You gotta pick stuff up and move around.
safe out
You know,
there?
with talking sofa.
Yeah, what was that game called? House Sitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird escape roomy kind of game. I like the just the weirdness of it.
Yeah.
It looks like a small. It's such a small project, but it looks like it's just doing something silly and fun and quirky. And I don't know, I kind of like it. You know.
No, like it was like fun. I try it.
Yeah, I mean.
Like I said, I love escape rooms and puzzles and just everything kind of leading into each other.
Yeah.
Plus the fact that it gets really weird at the end there. Now I'm gonna be like, well, what's that about?
Yeah.
Trapped in this bathroom for a reason, I guess.
I'm kind of into it.
It's a very OCD game. It's
Yeah.
like oddly satisfying. It's very much like I used to watch a lot of these kind of power watching videos just on
Yeah.
YouTube because it's just so nice to just see like a street just get
Satisfying.
cleaned. Exactly.
Very
It just
satisfying.
scratches an itch. You're just like, oh, that's nice.
You know the big thing that bothers me about this, that I know it really shouldn't, but does bother me? There's no water being drained onto the ground.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That actually
It's so clean.
kind of bothers me. Like, part of like pressure washing is like I like seeing all of the mud on the ground.
All of it rinsing off.
Yeah, because you're seeing the mud not just disappear, but like it was here, now
Yeah.
it's on the ground where it belongs, and then you wash it away.
Yeah,
Like
very
for me,
satisfying.
when I actually pressure wash stuff, that's part of the satisfaction.
Right. It's like not just rinsing it up, but then rinsing the scuds away.
Yeah, like really get it gone. But the thing is, like just watching it, like it's very satisfying to watch in a weird, primordial, stupid monkey brain kind of way.
Looks like it's multiplayer. Yeah, a lot of people stand in there. That's cool. Power wash with your friends. Don't want to clean in real life. Let's
Can
clean
you-
in a video game.
That's kind of what it feels like. Yeah, I don't want to do this shit in real life, but you know.
Right. You know, you told me to power wash your truck in real life, I'd be like, why would I do that? But somehow put it in a video game and I'll probably do it for 10 hours.
Why not?
I've been doing this since before you was born.
For it.
Any of the original characters doing the voice acting?
I think they got Batman. You know, the thing is, I think a number of these are pretty good. Like Arya, not so good. Shaggy's there though. Bugs is there. You know. Who did they have for? I don't know who they had for Harley Quinn when she joins, but I was like, she's not exactly the aesthetic that I would go for. But that's the thing. I don't really know who these voice actors would be professionally right now because they're always trading them out for different shows and things. But it all
Yeah.
sounds good, you know.
I love the fun quirkiness of it. Just these random characters. I mean, from all different IPs and genres all together. That's cool.
I think that's part of what's going on here is that if I was 9, I'd be excited for this.
It's very much seems like a child aesthetic. A lot of these, I mean, just look at the art style. And a lot of
Yeah.
the characters in it are from child games.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about it. Well, here's something that I think you might be interested in. LeBron.
Is he in that?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So now you can have LeBron versus Batman.
I've always wanted to see that mashup, and now it can happen.
Yeah, if I was 9, me too.
I think it's a great game to play with kids or friends who maybe don't play any games. It looks cute and light. Silly.
Okay, you said that you had a game.
Avenging Spirit. And it is actually a re-release of a really old game from, I want to say 1991 is when it came out. It's a Japanese game. It's just an arcade, traditional beat-em-up style game. So, like I said, it reminded me a lot of River City Ransom, which we played a little bit of on the last season of Side by Side. And a similar plot, too. You're just out walking with your girlfriend. She gets kidnapped. You get murked. And now, as a spirit, you have to go, you know, try to save your girlfriend's life and try to get her back.
You know they've still been making River City Ransom games?
Still, wow.
They're still making them.
Hey, can afford it. I mean, it makes money still. Why not?
So they're coming out with another one. River City Saga 3 Kingdoms.
What number is this? Is this like 2, 3, 4, 5? 12! 12! Wow, I wouldn't have gone that high.
And maybe not 12, but I made that number up. But yeah.
I believe it.
But right off the bat, when I was looking at it, the first thing that I thought of was like, it's a Romancing the Three Kingdoms, so it's a Chinese game, right? But I was just like, what a weird aesthetic that you would choose to pick this weird cartoon weeby, like cartoon whatever design. But then in the game you have River City Ransom, but in the background you have like a painted background and then like really, really cheaply done 3D in the mid-ground.
Oh, that's so weird. This mix of art styles here.
It's a bunch of really weird art styles, and I kind of hate the 3D stuff.
Do you like all this right here that's going on?
No.
I didn't think you would. It's very weeby.
Like, this kind of stuff is like, it's cheeseball. It's very,
It does seem very
cheeseball.
cheesy,
But the thing is, those cartoon characters, those sprites. Yeah, this Three Kingdoms game looks. I don't know. Like, I can't tell if I'm interested in what's going on here or if I hate it. I'm pretty sure based on how much story stuff they're packing into it and forcing me to watch, I don't think I could stomach it. But it's interesting that.
Yeah, this is not the kind of game that you would be into.
Yeah, I look at like the base core gameplay and I say this looks fun, and then I see the story stuff and I think I don't know if I can stomach that. Anyway, what did I have to say about it? I am now uncomfortably aware that the IP owners of River City, a game from Nintendo Entertainment System, have been making more games using the same name and design as the game from the 80s. Yuck.
Wow.
Yuck. Speaking of which, Baldur's Gate Dark Soul. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2, which is a PlayStation 2 game. They've re-released that on the computer now, so.
Oh, that's cool.
Now a game
Baldur's
I didn't.
Gate's fun.
Yeah, now a game that I didn't like when I was a kid is now available on computer.
Now you cannot like it on PC. Look at that. That's beautiful.
Let's see. Speaking of nostalgia trips, there's a game called X Zodiac. So X Zodiac kind of, from what I can see, it's like it took all of the elements from games like Star Fox that they forgot how to do well when they kept making sequels, and it just said, let's just focus on what's good.
Do a barrel roll.
Yeah, and so it's just like, let's just do the old school like Star Fox thing and just do it well. And it looks cool. And it's really low-fi, it's very 80s.
Look at all these polygon textures, look at that.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a game that I would love to make.
Yeah.
You know, granted, I would probably, make it a little bit better. But hey, you know,
you think it would refine this section a bit more?
I would just make things have purpose.
Yeah.
Not just like this is a barrier that's coming towards you. Like I'd be like, yeah, no, these are actual buildings. And if you shoot the buildings, the windows will blow out. I did make a Star Fox game.
Yeah.
I didn't finish it, but I was like working on it, and I just realized I wasn't good at 3D. So I stopped. But I was like, the buildings, if you shoot them, the windows will blow out on.
Right.
And if you hit something with a bomb, the building will fall apart and collapse. And I wanted to feel like if you're blowing up a city that you're sent to save, you're gonna get a bill for collateral damage.
Oh, so that's cool.
Yeah, I tried to give purpose to things. So like a big part of it was like, yeah, this stuff looks neat, but like, you know, give me a more compelling reason why things should be away, you know. Okay, so this is Necrosmith is one of those games that like I wasn't really sure about. I wasn't sure how I felt about it, but the more I watched it, the more I kind of was like, I see what they're doing and I kind of like it. So you're like a guy who lives in a tower. You are the necromancer, and you find these parts, and you build monsters out of these parts. And you can send the monsters out into the world to go like wreak havoc, or you can control them to like go around. But it kind of reminded me of like a thing that's gotten really popular lately is auto battlers. And this is kind of like a version of that, but you could build just like fun creatures. And I just like that you can just continue to like create interesting stuff. It's a super cheap game. It's very, very inexpensive. Like
$3.
$3.
That's a steal.
$3.
I spent more on a can of Red Bull, I think.
I think if it even looks even remotely interesting, $3 isn't bad. I'm not mad at $3.
I've got one more game to mention.
Cool.
Alright, it's cool. So this one is coming out, it says, on Windows and Xbox Series X/S on July 26th. And apparently will be on iOS and Android in August via Netflix, apparently.
What is it?
It's called Immortality. It's more of like it's sort of like, I think it's like a Bandersnatch kind of deal, like an interactive movie kind of game.
Okay, so break this down. What is this?
All right, so the writer Sam Barlow has other games called Her Story and Telling Lies, which are basically the same sort of game, where you kind of get these interactive movie clips, and you have to hunt through the different clips. It's a fictional actress, fictional movies. You have to find clues, like the way she interacts with her co-stars, things that happen in the background, to try to figure out like where is she and what happened to her. It's kind of yeah, like an interactive search and find. You have to watch these video clips to find the mission where she went. And I just picked it because it just seemed very interesting and unique. Just kind of like just the way it's structured. And I just really like puzzle games, so it seems kind of neat to try to find clues.
And so, what platforms is this coming out on?
It's gonna be on July 26th. It's gonna be on PC, Windows, and then Microsoft X/S. It's also apparently gonna come to cell phones, so iOS, Android. The webpage I found says it's gonna be on Netflix, which is why I'm thinking it's gonna be like a Bandersnatch kind of deal, which was like the Black Mirror interactive game show.
So that would be interesting to see something like this, like interactive storytelling.
Exactly, yeah, which I think is just an interesting genre. I feel like it's kind of a new thing coming out, kind of just a new game style, and I just think it just looks really neat and different, and I would like to try it because I've never just seen anything like it. I never played Her Story or other things like that. I've heard of it, but never actually played it, so it just looks cool.
It does. It looks interesting.
Yeah, just very interesting.
I've seen a few that are like this, and I think it's funny to say because like I don't like watching other people play games, you know, in particular, but I like watching people play these games who are good at them.
Yeah.
Who can just like, it may be their first time picking it up, they're still seeing the story for the first time, so it's all fresh and new, but they're very, very quick at figuring these things out.
Right, finding the pattern and picking up the pieces and things.
Yeah, because like I've played a few of these, like the Life is Strange games.
Yes, Life is Strange, I love those.
Did you play those?
Yeah, I played the first one. I didn't play the second one, or I think it was like a DLC con or something.
The first couple ones are really good. They all played very much like a CW kind of show for a while. Like, like very young adults. Very fun to play with somebody else. You can like talk about what's happening and like how you feel about the character.
All different choices.
I like seeing experimentation, things like that.
I like seeing the different thing. I like that it's just not another first-person shooter. It's not another Anthem or fucking, you know, I don't know, Halo or Gears of War. But those are all fun, but there's just so many shooters out there. So Apex, Fortnite, it's just something different, new, distinct, immersive, and probably gonna be pretty cool.
So anyway, what we're saying is we're really looking forward to Fortnite on Netflix.
Oh, can't wait. Oh yeah.
See you next week.
Bye.